That'll be as exciting as possible, I suppose.
He said he can.
Oh yeah, look. Welcome to our first in-person, okay, I'm really bad at this camera. There we go. In-person workshop. And exciting. I'm on TV too, which is kind of creepy, but whatever. This could be an Oscar-winning performance, just so you guys know. Sweet. So how many people are online?
1, 2, 3, 4 plus me and Eric.
Look at this big turnout. This is fantastic. It's great. So exciting. And I'm sure everybody's super excited about the subject matter, like logistics stuff for the ride, as opposed to like training and fundraising. It's like, oh my God, what do I do about a hotel? What do I do about shipping my bike? And it's exciting. It's the good stuff. All right. Are we ready to begin or something? Okay. I'm Marnie, one of the cyclist reps. This is Tim Lee.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. And Eric is on the other, on the other computer. He's here as well. So you have 3 cycle reps tonight, which is kind of exciting. This is our first online in-person presentation, which is very exciting. We haven't done the combo yet, so the technicalities are very exciting. So this is ALC101. It's the basics of what to expect in the next couple months, and then what to expect on orientation day and the actual ride. So we can just look at the PowerPoint, go to the next. Yeah, so what we're going to go over is the travel planner, which is on the website, where to find it, what's in it, and what kind of things that you're going to be benefiting from looking there. Bike shipping, how to do it from Southern California and out of state. Getting yourself up to San Francisco, hotels, what orientation day is, that whole process, what opening ceremonies is, and then what day 1 is, because it's kind of 2 parts almost. And then what the ride is like I said, and then day 7 and closing, and what do you do afterwards? Because that's kind of important. Might not seem important, but it is. So the first is travel planner. It's on the website. At the top of the website, you have the different tabs that you can identify, and life on the event, the second tab, when it comes to logistics for the ride, is the most important thing. And at the very bottom, it says travel planner. So if you click on that, this is the window that opens up on the website, right? So at the very bottom of the page, you have 3 different categories. You have logistics, orientation day, and then opening and closing ceremonies. Now, a lot of the information that's in each of those isn't actually up yet. It's available as it becomes available, as we solidify things. So logistics is the first tab, and that has the hotels, bike shipping, transportation information, and your packing list. That's the most important. Actually, it's not the most important, but it's everybody's favorite. Is what do I pack? So it's a packing list in there. You can print it. It's really great. The second tab is orientation day. That one, more will come up as the details actually unfold. Same with opening and closing ceremonies. Opening and closing ceremonies has information on what time you need to be there, where you're going to meet. If you have guests coming, where did they park? How did they do this? So if you have guests coming on either end of the ride, where do you send them? Look at that. So bike shipping. How exciting. Technology. Isn't that fun? So in the bike shipping section, it's like, why do we do bike shipping? How do you do it from LA? How do you do it from Orange County and San Diego? Because not everybody lives here. And then what about out of state? There's different bike shipping tips. You know, what do you need to actually take off your bike? What should you leave on? Things like that. If you choose to fly with your bike, so if you go from here or out of state
Muted.
to San Francisco, what are you going to expect? And then if you're going to bring your bike with you. So if you decide to rent a car, like 5 of you rent a car one way, you go up, you drop it off, and you
Unmuted.
go that way. So there's all different kinds of ways to do it. And then if you are flying or you are shipping, how do you do bike boxes? And what does that look like?
Just trying to see what people were saying.
I wonder if they can hear me.
Somebody said something.
So, can they type questions?
Yeah, but
Can you hear
I
me?
have to click on it. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Headphones. Headphones.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so bike shipping. Why bike shipping? Well, the cool part about bike shipping, so this is for in-state or out-of-state. Well, out-of-state's a little different. Out-of-state, you use FedEx. The in-state bike shipping from LA, Orange County, or San Diego, which are our hub points for drop-off, there's no disassembly required. You don't have to use a bike box. You don't have to do anything to your bike. Nothing happens to it. They're individually wrapped, padded, and put safely onto bike transportation. And then they're removed with care on the other end. So the people who are dealing with your bikes are really taking care of them. We know what we're doing. Things that you do want to do for your bike shipping is you want to remove your computer, your little saddlebag, anything that could come off or is expensive and that you kind of want to make sure you have on the route. You don't want to put your water bottles in there. Bring those up with you in your bag. And then if you want to cling wrap your top tube so the cables are actually, they'll have that at the bike shipping place so that you just wrap with kind of like saran wrap. That way your cables aren't getting pulled or anything like that. So that's kind of that aspect of bike shipping. I can't even read that. What is this? So bike shipping is now done by Ace Ride Productions. They've been doing the San Diego and Orange County bike shipping for years. So now they're doing the whole ride of Southern California to and from. So the people who have bikes that are coming from NorCal that ride their bike down here and need to be transported the opposite direction, Ace will be doing that as well. So the 3 points of drop-off are in Los Angeles is this building right here, the Village. Actually, no, it's Highland. It's actually our building right up the street. It's a big park. There's a big parking lot there. It's like 1 block up. Big black building. And that's going to be happening on Sunday, May 26th, and Monday, May 27th. So Labor Day weekend, Sunday and Monday, from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then in San Diego, just in case anyone online is from San Diego or Orange County, San Diego is at the San Diego Gay and Lesbian Center, and it is on May 29th from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., which is Wednesday. And then in Orange County, it's at the South Coast Village Plaza Shopping Center, which is Tuesday, May 28th. So basically, Ace is going to pick up bikes from Sunday to Wednesday in different locations. And then when you get to the Cow Palace for Orientation Day on Saturday, all your bikes are there. all of your bikes. They magically appear. It's really fantastic, actually. Then you walk into the Cow Palace to this like sea of bicycles, and it's kind of unbelievable.
Crazy.
If you haven't done the ride before and you go in and you see it, you have like no idea, and it really is breathtaking and ridiculous how many bikes are actually in there. It's like, oh wow, there's a lot of people doing this ride, aren't there? So the cost for bikes, what's going to happen is bike shipping is open now. So you can go online to logistics, click on the logistics tab of the travel planner, and click on the shipping, pick which one you're going to do. You just click on it and it'll take you. So you're doing LA. If you do it, if you register for bike shipping before April 19th online, it's $55. So get that taken care of and pay for it. If you do it between April 20th and May 24th, it's $65. After May 24th is $85. And if you do it like day of, it's $85 cash walk up. Like it's cash only. So get it beforehand, save yourself some money. They give you a little piece of paper that you have to print and you kind of put it somewhere where you're going to remember it, not somewhere where you're going to forget where you put it, because you need to give that to them. And then when they're going to give you a receipt for it. So when you get up to orientation day, you go to bike parking, and you've got your little paper that goes with your bike number, so they know where they parked it. So it sounds really complicated, but it's not that complicated. And this is what the page looks like.
Yeah, this is all on the website.
This is what the website page looks like.
It's a screenshot. So,
kind of near the bottom it says click here to complete the online registration form for ACE. So that's what you're gonna do. Yeah, like shipping logistics. What does this say? I can't read from this far away. I'm usually a lot closer. Bring your bike with you. What is this? If you don't do bike shipping, I can't read this.
This talks about ACE, also FedEx, that's new this year, and then also Tri-Bike as well. Bullet points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, bike shipping and bike parking. As soon as you drop your bike off with us, regardless of how you do it, is going to be taken care of. We all have bikes. We all know how to deal with bikes, so we're all kind of protective of bikes. Bike parking, it's protected, secure bike parking. At night, there is security there. From orientation, from when we get the bikes off of the truck, is when they're on the truck. They're in a secure rig. But when they get to orientation day and they hit the ground, from that moment and every night on the ride, it is secure bike parking, so you don't have to worry about your bike. FedEx, for people who are out of state. FedEx is new this year. You can take your bike to a local FedEx. There's a link online. I don't know if it's in this show. No. Okay. So if you click on the FedEx link right there, it takes you to the section about FedEx. You would actually look it up. The price is actually comparable. It's not as expensive as shipping your bike or bringing it with you on an airplane. It is more comparable to what Tri-Bike had done last year for any veterans who are interested in that. Tri-Bike is only available at certain locations, but basically between the two, you find out where your drop-off location is. You take it, you have it, they put it in a box, so it is taken apart. It is shipped. It is shipped to the Cow Palace, and then at orientation day, you pick up your bike, you take it over to the Cannondale Bike Tech, and they put your bike back together, and there is a fee for that. Cannondale does charge, so you have to have some cash for that specific thing. ACE, you don't need a box. They just put it on a truck. It's all good. So if you're in state, it's kind of it's a little easier. Yes.
What's the fee Cannondale charges?
To put your bike back together?
Yeah.
I think last year I paid 25 cash. I think it's something like that. They put it all together right there for you, make sure all the sizing is all good. So
Yeah, they get
yeah.
you up on a trainer, so they are actually
Mm.
refitted.
And they're very quick.
Yeah.
With it.
And they're there all day doing it. And it's
Yeah.
right next. There's bike parking and Cannondale, like they're right next to each other. So.
Yep. It's easy.
What is this? Okay, so if you do ship your bike via ACE, it's going to be waiting for you in bike parking on orientation day. I would, fix something that's like colorful so you can find it because there are a lot. Kind of like what you do with your luggage at an airport, something like wow, so you can see it. Because if you, even though it's a road bike and a lot of them look different, a lot of people have the same bike, so you kind of wanted to distinguish it. The person who meets you at bike parking though, with your little ticket, they know which section your bike is in, so they're going to take you to a specific section. So there could be another bike in that row that looks like yours, but most likely you're fine. And we've never had an issue. Yeah, so bike staff member and volunteer in bike parking are there to help you. So if you're flying with your bike, box. Usually boxing is required. They don't let you just bring a bike on. And you can do a hard case or a cardboard case, a triangle case, all sorts of different kinds of cases. All airlines have different handling fees. One of the big things with airlines is that it'll be like $100 or $200 one way. So if you're out of state, that's 2 plane tickets, plus 2 bike shipping. So, and then the other part of that is if you do fly in with it, you have to get it from the airport to the Cow Palace, which can be a little tricky, transport-wise. Yeah. There isn't, BART goes a certain direction from the airport, but it doesn't go to the Cow Palace, so it's not that in. Walking around with a big box is kind of difficult.
I did that last year.
It's
also
hard.
Yeah, with that too, if you want to go this route, take your bike to a bike store so they can box it for you a couple days prior, because they can't just do it on the spot usually. Like for me, they said it was like 48 hours, so I had to bring it in a couple days earlier. So just note that if you go this route.
Yeah, if you're doing FedEx or flying or anything where it's requiring bike boxing, check with the location that you're taking it to for that.
Is FedEx going to have like a special rate for this event? Shipping?
Yes. Yeah, FedEx has a special AIDS Lifecycle rate. There's seats. Grab them.
My head's too big.
Oh, well, just move to the side. We have new people. So shipping, if you ship your bike box to San Francisco, shipments will be accepted at the Cow Palace, which is actually new this year.
Yeah.
In previous years, you had to ship it to a FedEx location. Most people would use FedEx at the airport and still have to schlep it. But this year, they're doing it at the Cow Palace, so no matter which way you ship your bike, it's transported. So basically, the bottom line is that regardless of how you do it, bike shipping is actually easier than taking it on an airplane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just is.
Ship your bike.
If you are flying with your bike, there are, like I said, different kinds of bikes or different kinds of bike boxes. They will charge you for the bike box. When you get to closing ceremonies, they will also charge you for a new bike box. You won't be able to reuse the cardboard box. They want to repackage it, so you'll need money on the other end. Yeah, so if you need to, when you do flying, when you use a bike box, the disassembly is a lot more than just taking the wheels off. The pedals come off. It depends on what kind of bike box you actually have as to how much because different bike boxes have a different rate of how much they take off. And some people with hard cases actually know how to take their bike apart and put it back together because they do it a lot. Like my brother, who travels with his bike. So it just depends on how well versed you are with it. But again, Cannondale is there, so they'll help you put it back together. And then when you return home, if you're flying home with your bike, take it to your bike shop and they'll help you reassemble it as well on the other end. So if you're bringing your bike with you, so you either live in the NorCal area or you're going to be up there prior to the event with your bike, or you're going to drive a car and put a bunch of bikes on a bike rack, you're just going to bring your bike with you to orientation day. And then your first step at orientation day is just going to be to drop your bike off at bike parking. That's it. You're going to receive a sticker with the location of where you can find it later when you come back with your bike frame number. This is also the time when you, well, if you're bringing your bike, it doesn't really matter because your stuff will be on it. The sticker thing also applies for if you've shipped your bike. So basically, if you've brought your bike with you or you shipped your bike, all the bikes are there now, right? You have a sticker, you know where your bike is located. You've gone through orientation day. The last thing you're going to do is put your bike frame number on, and then everything that you took off your bike for bike transport, like your computer, your saddlebags, any, the air tire pump, anything like that, bring it with you and put it on your bike then. Don't wait for opening ceremonies morning to be sitting there futzing with your bike. Get it all in on orientation day. You have time, not a big deal. You are, however, going to leave your water bottles at your hotel. Bring those with you in the morning. There is no water or hydration, electrolytes on opening ceremonies morning. So you want to come with your water bottles. But everything else can be put back on your bike. So that's for everybody. Next. Bike boxes. If you have a bike box, look, there's temporary bike box storage. So that's actually a picture, it's an image of like what different bike boxes look like. There's cardboard in the back and then there's the hard cases, all different types. In the bike parking area is a section designated for the bike box shipping. You'll see it. If you have a bike box, and this is the route that you've gone, your bike box is not a storage area for you for the week of the ride. It will not go on your gear truck and go down the coast with you. It is going to go on a special truck and go directly to closing. So you will have no access to your bike box all week long. Not on the route. It's in a state truck down here in LA, waiting for you. So get everything out. Don't leave stuff in there. Like, don't leave your red dress in your bike box. It's not the best place to do it. Just not the best place. So that's, the moral of that. So getting yourself to San Francisco, you can do it however you want. Flying Southwest, Virgin, SFO, so San Francisco Airport or Oakland Airport are the closest. Both have BART, the Bay Area Rapid Transit, that will get you into the city where you can catch either a bus or taxi or something over to the Cow Palace. Southwest and Virgin also are really cheap. So you can get a flight for under $100. It's pretty easy. They're comfortable. They're fun. I mean, who doesn't love Southwest and Virgin, right? I mean, honestly. The Virgin safety video alone is worth it. Really is. And then also you can drive. So renting a car. Check with Hertz because they work with us. Ride wide. They might be willing to give you a deal. I don't know. But you can have a bike rack, and or if you get a van, you can put the bikes inside and your luggage can be in there too. So some people do that. They carpool up. That way they have a vehicle for orientation day, and then they get rid of it that night and then get to opening a different way. You take a train.
Do car rental places have bike racks that they
I don't
rent?
think so.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they
You'd
do.
have to
And that's
call.
not something you want to bring with you if you're
Right,
taking a
yeah.
car. Like the people that I know that have done cars, they do vans. So that there's like 4 people in the van and everything is in the back of the van because the bags alone are big. So you can take trains. Trains also take bikes, but you're gonna have to, just like airplane, check what the fee is and check if you need a bike box and all that kind of research. They take a little longer. They're not as quick, but they're kind of fun. Also buses. Some people will take the bus up. So, transportation. Traveling to opening ceremonies. If you're gonna take a cab from wherever you're staying in San Francisco to opening ceremonies, you need to book it the night before. There are gonna be a lot of people that actually call for a cab and need to be picked up at 4 a.m. Which kind of sounds counterintuitive because who calls for a cab at 4 a.m., right? You call the night before, make sure you have the cab reserved. They will be there and they will pick you up. They like do loops to the hotels. It's actually kind of weird and amazing. Or you can do the cheaper route and the much easier route. AIDS Lifecycle does we run a shuttle service. Our 2 hotels up in San Francisco that give a discount to participants. The Hotel Carlton, which is in San Francisco, and then the Radisson, which is by the airport. They will bring you to opening ceremonies. We're not talking orientation day at all, just opening ceremonies, day 1 of the ride, June 2nd. The reservation for the hotel in the past was $8, and it opens up in April. And you'll get an email about it. You're going to get a series of emails that say, let's get ready to ride. Pay attention to those. If you don't pay attention to any other email that we send you, please pay attention to let's get ready to ride, because it's got all your important dates. And I think your first one is going to come to you on Monday. So, and it's about the medical form. So, we'll get there. So orientation day, so the shuttle bus is really great. You'll have to be at the hotel entrance at 4 a.m. on June 2nd with your luggage. I'm doing the silence thing on purpose because it's funny. It's an ungodly early hour. So 4 a.m. With your luggage, and then you'll have your little ticket receipt stub. You show it to them. Your name is on the list. You get on the bus and you go. Right? Travel to San Francisco. Yeah, Bart. I said that already. Didn't I say? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can look up Bart for more information. For opening ceremonies, I don't necessarily recommend taking Bart in the morning, but you could. You will have to take a taxi at some point. And then there's the rent-a-car thing.
And this is all on the website too. This was taken from the website.
This is under that tab.
So this is
Travel
all under
planner.
the travel planner tab.
Yeah, it's the travel planner, and this is the logistics tab. This is all of the information that is on there. Hotels in San Francisco. So again, the Radisson Hotel is by the airport. The Carlton is actually in downtown San Francisco market area. They give a discount, and you need to get your reservations as soon as possible. It is open. It's on the website. This is the information. The Radisson is $119 per night. Carlton is $179 per night. Depends on where you want to stay. Both have the shuttle bus. It's kind of a preference. There's restaurants and stuff nearby. If you stay at the Radisson, you could go down. You can take the shuttle from the airport to BART and take BART into the city if you wanted to go in the city. And then there's a note on this, because this is on the website. This is the live page, so there's links on here and phone numbers. Call them, make your reservations. Says that the Hotel Carlton reservation webpage may not load properly or may require refreshing. So make sure that if you're using Microsoft Internet Explorer 9. Note to everybody who has Internet Explorer 9. I don't know why you would have Internet Explorer 9, but just saying. Yeah. Hmm? Oh no, I got this wrong. So basically, are there any like hotel questions? Because this is live and this is up, and you guys can just travel planner. I'll show you again where the travel planner is.
Where is the Cow Palace in relation to the city?
The Cow Palace is in Daly City. There's actually a slide in here somewhere with the address. The hotel discounts, make sure that you say that you're an AIDS Lifecycle participant, or your family and friends, make sure that they say that they're with AIDS Lifecycle. Again, reserve as soon as possible. Like tonight, go home and actually make your reservation, because there's a lot of people that are going to be in these hotels, and these rooms go by really quick. Also, if there are all your charges are your own individual charges, this is one of the expenses that you pay for. So we take care of you once you're on the ride. There we go. That's the Cow Palace. It really is a cow palace. It says Cow Palace. Cool, huh? It's in Daly City. So Daly City is between San Francisco and South San Francisco. It's kind of a little blip in there, kind of in between the airport and San Fran. It's off Geneva Avenue. Just to give you a random tip, you don't need to write it down, or you could. There's a really good restaurant. It's a hole in the wall. It's on the corner of Geneva and Bayshore Boulevard. It's called the 7 Mile House. It looks like a biker bar dump, and they've got like 5-star food, and it's cheap. And I'm not kidding. It's like, it's phenomenal. Get the Shirley Scampi. If you like shrimp, the 7 Mile House. If you like shrimp, the Shirley Scampi is really good. If you like burgers, apparently they have really great burgers. No, you're gonna. Oh no.
If you like shrimp, you
See, if you like shrimp in a biker bar, exactly.
So
Yes.
is the Radisson closer to the Cow Palace than
It actually is.
Okay.
It actually is. It's there's a little back road, kind of by Candlestick Park, that takes you. It's actually closer. The staff, that's the hotel that we stay at, so that we can be closer to the event. You won't see us. You probably won't see us because we're working, but that's the hotel we're at. And if you stay at the Radisson, you can take the shuttle from the hotel to the airport and pick up Bart at the airport. So
the Radisson's closer than the Carlton.
Yeah.
the Radisson is closer to the Carlton. A lot of people like to stay at the Carlton because they like to be in San Francisco, because a lot of people get there on Friday. Orientation day is on Saturday, and there are usually dinners and things for different Paz Peds has a big spaghetti dinner. Different teams will have big dinners, and they're open for other people to come and join. And a lot of them are on Friday night, and they're in San Francisco. So, but you can get there from the Radisson. It's not impossible. Public transit in San Francisco is awesome. It's really convenient, especially if you're coming from LA. You know how god awful public transit is here. So, kind of makes it nice to go up there. So, orientation day is Saturday, June 1st. I always recommend getting there on Friday. I know that we live in LA. If you're in the room, if you're not and you're online and you either live in LA or you live somewhere else, I would not want to fly in on orientation day, because what if there's a delay? It's San Francisco, there's fog. Your plane might be circling for a long time before it lands, or it might not be able to take off because there's too much fog in the Bay Area. So allowing yourself to get there earlier is going to save a heart attack from happening.
One small correction from the slide that just got announced.
Oh, yeah.
Orientation day will be closing at 4 o'clock this year.
Yeah.
Not 6.
Yeah. So orientation day hours are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is actually a big shift from in the past, but we have made orientation day more efficient and streamline a couple of the processes so that people can actually get home a little earlier. you want to be there early. There will be a line at 8 a.m. and bike parking. There always is. You don't have to get there that early, but the earlier you get there, as far as like the 10 a.m. marker, you're going to get done with it quicker. You're going to get done with the entire process quicker. So 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., you need to allow for 3 hours to actually complete orientation day. So that's one of the other reasons I just don't recommend. Yeah, don't fly on Saturday. You're just asking for a heart attack on your, like, you're giving me a heart attack thinking about it. I'm dying over here. So yes.
What's the latest you think would be a good time to orientation? Say like you want to ride around 1 or 2 days, is that too late?
That would be the latest. I mean, 1 o'clock is like, it closes at 4, so, you know.
Get it done early.
Yes, so,
Or
yeah, you can have a party the night before. You are actually going to be riding really hard
Don't.
for 7 days.
Don't.
So don't push your luck being in San Francisco. If you want to party in San Francisco, come on Thursday.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to rest on Friday. Orientation day is really long and really hard. It doesn't seem like it would be, but the Cow Palace is all cement. It's all tarmac. So it's really hard on your legs. It's really hard on your calves. Standing there all day long there's not a lot of places to sit. You're actually doing tasks. You get to sit during the safety video, and that's it. Everything else is task oriented for you to do something before you leave. You're excited. Your adrenaline's really high. There's a lot of great energy. You're seeing people that you've been training with and people that you didn't know were doing the ride. Veteran riders are seeing everybody that they haven't seen all year long. There's a lot of energy. It's really exciting. And the next day is the beginning of a really long week. So making sure that you're rested for that is actually really important, because Saturday night, when you go home to your hotel, you're not getting sleep. You think you're going to get sleep, but you're going to be too excited, and then you're going to stay up late because you're too excited, and then you won't be able to fall asleep. And then you're going to be paranoid because you have to be at the bus at 4 a.m. So you have to pack your out and which outfit I'm going to wear on day 1, and you have to then you have to repack your suitcase because you unpacked something and it messed the whole thing up. There's a whole bunch of scenarios that can happen on that night. But usually you don't wind up being awake and like you're up, you're tossing and turning because it's like, oh, did I miss my alarm? Did I miss my alarm? Oh my God, I'm gonna oversleep and I'm gonna miss the shuttle bus. I'm gonna miss day 1 of the ride. Actually, we had somebody miss day 1 of the ride 1 year. It's a true story. They called. They wound up getting to the day 2 campsite, but it's happened. I don't know how. So you just want to make sure that you're prepared. So if you do want to spend time in San Francisco and enjoy San Francisco, come a couple days early. Utilize your vacation time and take a couple extra days to enjoy it and make sure you're rested. Especially if you're traveling from out of state and there is a time change and your body has to acclimate, give yourself time for that. So the Cow Palace, if you're coming via cab or you're driving yourself and parking because you rented a car for the day, you do have to pay. It's not us. It is the Cow Palace. They're a venue, so they charge $8 cash only for parking. The entrance is actually Geneva at Santos. It's a big light, and then there'll be people to shoo you in and show you where to park. And then you can walk over.
It can be dropped off though for free.
Yeah, you
right?
can be dropped off. You can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
The taxi
great.
cabs.
That's what I did last year. Somebody
The
just dropped us
parking.
off.
The parking goes in one direction, and then the taxi cabs will go in another direction, and they'll loop around, and you don't have to pay for that. So, and the cabs don't have to pay for it. So, how many of you are new?
Everyone.
I knew that. That was kind of a rhetorical question. I knew it. So what you have is, this is called, you're going to get an e-ticket. E-tickets are great. Okay, so this is going to show up in your participant center. And as you can see, it has fundraising, medical, tent assignment, what meal, and if you get any incentives. You're going to print this at the very last minute before you come to orientation day. These are all, or most of, the tasks that you have to do at orientation day. If your fundraising is not done, if you're not at $3,000, you're going to have to go to the pledge line and you'll deal with your fundraising there. That can be a very long line. If you have cash or checks and you've been holding on to them, don't turn them in now. Keep turning them in. We will give you a date, which is a deadline. After that point, you can mail them in. If you're past your minimum and past your incentive marks, and you don't care about the money affecting you doing the ride, like if you don't need the $3,000 or $5,000 to get the jersey, you're already there, mail them in. It's not a big deal. But if you need it to go towards your minimum or your incentive minimum, bring it with you to orientation day and physically turn it in. There's, what is it? It's May, I'm going to say it's around May 15th. I don't know what day that is, but it's going to be in that area. That's when the deadline is going to be for posting a check and it coming in and clearing for you before orientation day. So if it's going to happen, and that'll be very clear, you're all going to know what that date is. We talk about it a lot. We post it a lot. It's on Facebook a lot. We will communicate. If you have questions, call your cycle rep. We'll have that answer for you to remind you. The next one is medical. You are going to now, on Monday, have a clickable link in your participant center to fill out your medical form. Do it online in your participant center, please. If you don't need to go to the medical line, don't. This is just your medical information. If something happens, we have it. We don't have to re-ask you questions. Like if you have to go somewhere, the questions don't have to be asked again. We have the record. You filled out the paperwork. The only person that sees it is the medical director. So if you fill it out online and send it, it doesn't, none of us see it. It goes directly to the head of the medical team. They don't even open it unless it's needed, but they have your record on hand. If you have questions about that, let us know. Reasons that you would visit the medical line. If you have special medications that require refrigerating or transportation, if you have a sleep apnea machine, if you, like, there's all sorts of little, like, special food, things like that, you're going to have to go see medical regardless of filling out the medical form, but you still want to fill it out online because it's so much easier, and then it's done. So that is actually going to be available from March 18th to May something. Again, I'm going to round it out and say 15th because I don't remember. But it's around that time, and then it closes, and then you have to do it in person. So you have a couple months. It's in your participant center. Tent assignment. We have a great section at orientation day called tent assignment. But you can do it online and get it done with. In April, if you're by a certain date, you'll be above $2,000. You are eligible for tent assignment. You you go to your participant center, you click on the tent assignment button, it'll say you're eligible for tent assignment. Click on it, put the person who you want to be with, type that, put that down. It'll send them an email. They will confirm you if they're over $2,000 in their fundraising. And then you're assigned, you're done, you're good. There's an added step. If you're on a team and you want to camp with your team, so we're going to tent together. And then we also want to tent with Team Synergy. So we're going to pick each other, and then I picked you, you confirmed me. I get an email saying, oh, you were confirmed. I go to my participant center. The next step is, do you want to tent in a special area? I put in my team code Synergy. Whatever the team decides their code is, we all use the same code. We're in the same row of tents. It's a little confusing. Again, ask us. We'll help you with it. It gets really confusing each year, but it's easier than doing it in person. If you don't know anyone to tent with, and you don't really care about waiting in a line, do it in person. There are a lot of relationships that are born from tent assignment because they pick somebody randomly. Because a lot of veterans will have a tent partner, doesn't work out. Next year they'll have another tent partner, doesn't work out. They finally are like, oh, screw this, and they do the randomness thing, and that is their tent partner from here on out. It's really odd, but it happens. Yeah. No, you get your tent person, and that's your person
For the whole week.
for the whole week. If you have an issue with your tent person, like say you're a couple and you decide you're going to break up, go to participant support. They have all the answers. They will take care of you. Would a new tent help? The participant support will take care of all that.
I'm
So
also
if
checking
you,
with team captains to for tent assignment. Right.
yeah. If you are doing team tenting, check with your team captain's going to let you know what the password is. Like they're going to give you that information, and if you have questions about it, check in with them. It's pretty, it's a little convoluted, but if you're not understanding what we're saying and you talk to them and you understand it, because everybody communicates a little differently, I mean, it is simple, but at the same time, it's not. So I don't know. On your e-ticket, that's also the place that is going to confirm which kind of food you're eating. If you are a vegetarian, you are eating vegetarian. If you get the vegetarian wristband, you will be in the vegetarian line. If you are a meat eater who eats chicken, but nothing else, like no other kinds of meats, and you get a meat wristband, you are not allowed in the vegetarian line. You can skip the meat item that night. Mostly the food is not like meat. It's a lot of chicken, it's a lot of poultry, it's a lot more common than, there's one night with fish, but it has another option too.
Yeah.
So it's like a chicken and fish option. Like, so it's not like steak and fish or steak and chicken. So you always have a choice. But if you are a vegetarian, use the vegetarian line. If you are a meat eater, you will never get into the vegetarian line with your wristband. Just so you know. People try to do that. But if you're like, oh God, I've been eating this way and now I switched my diet, you're not married to it, you're not stuck with it. You can still fix it on your e-ticket. You can switch it.
For the ride.
The other thing that you get to do on orientation day is your incentives, and it'll tell you on your e-ticket if you qualify. It'll also tell you on your e-ticket if you've already picked it up. So this year, for the first year, when you hit your $5,000 mark, you can pick up your $5,000 jersey here at the office or at a pre-event that we have. So if you didn't want to wait till orientation day and you hit your $5,000 or $10,000, you can pick both of those incentives up. Is basically it. Wow. Yeah, your e-ticket's really important. Print it at the very last minute. Print 3 copies. I'm not lying. Print 3 copies. You will lose them, and you will be happy you have one. You need it with you for check-in on orientation day. Both hotels have like little computer things with printers. You could feasibly print it at the hotel. Print 3 copies before you leave and bring them with you. If your fundraising goes up that much, print more copies at the hotel. But basically, if you've done your online tenting and your medical form and that kind of stuff, really the only thing that you're worried about is your fundraising. So that's the only one that would change. Next one. Okay. So orientation day, this is kind of how it works. You walk in. Where did it all go? You walk in. You go to bike parking. Once you go to bike parking, you're checking your bike. You're getting rid of your bike, or just making sure that it's there. You're going to immediately enter, and you're going to go through the safety video. You have to go through safety video. You can do a lot of this in any order, but to go to check-in, you have to do the safety video first. The only way you will get your wristband and your packet with your tent stuff and your bike number and actually be officially checked in and registered for the ride is if you watch the safety video first. You will see a lot, and the check-in line is really long. This year it's a little different because it's going to be separated into two. Cyclists will be in one line, roadies have their own special line, which will streamline the process, which is really fantastic. But there are still a lot of cyclists, so it's usually a really long line. And it's fun, it's social, people are hanging out, and it's a good time, it's a party. But it would suck to wait an entire hour and a half in a line to get out there and be like, oh yeah, no, go back to safety. So go to the safety video first, watch the safety video, learn all about safety on the ride, be as safe as possible on the road and on the event, get your wristband, and then proceed through the rest of orientation. The other things that Orientation Day has is the camp store. One of the only times that you can buy AIDS Lifecycle specific merchandise is once a year on the ride. So you get the camp store. Orientation Day, in my opinion, is the best place to start because things sell out. So that popular item that you're going to want is probably already gone in your size on Orientation Day. So that's the day to go shop, in my humble opinion. Make sure you leave room in your luggage for things you're going to buy. Side note. If you decide to do tent assignment, go stand in line, meet someone nice, go through and do your tent assignment in person. There's donor services, that's where you do your pledges, and then there's medical, so if you have to drop anything off, and then check-in. So that's all the stuff that's in there. The other thing that's in there is registration, so you can register for next year. And there's some vendors that are in there that are a lot of fun to check out with stuff going on. If you're a roadie, there's a roadie meeting. I don't know that it's at 12 o'clock. That's the safety video. There's a roadie specific safety video followed by the roadie meeting and roadie breakout teams. So if you're a roadie, you're going to get a very specific email about being at orientation at a certain time. This is mandatory. For cyclists too, you have to do this. So make sure that you save Saturday, June 1st. So the layout. This is what it looks like. So you have at the bottom, you have bike parking, and it's inside. Right below that is the bike tech area. You wind up going down this really cool hallway and swirly thingy. This is an old map. This is not the new map. There is a new map. It does not look like this anymore. This is different. It says example only. Yay! Look at that. Okay, so it's a big section of bays with a lot of room. There's 2 bays that have the safety video. There will be signage as to what time the videos are, and then there'll be other signage to direct you to all the things. Where do you pick up your incentives? Where do you check in? Where's the tent store or the tent assignments? ALC camp store, all that kind of stuff. That little thing that says food. They do have a little food vendor. I don't know what they have. I've never eaten there. There's a pizza place across the street, a McDonald's down the way, and a Taco Bell. So if you get there at a certain time and you decide to take care of safety video and something, and then you get hungry and you want to leave, you can leave and come back. Basically. Next. Signage. Again, it's mandatory. You have to go through the process. If you fall asleep or you're talking or you're not paying attention in the safety video, we will put you back through the safety video. As a moderator of the safety video, that's one of the things that we do. I'm serious. It's like we do.
It's important.
It's really important. The safety video is vital. It's very, all safety on Lifecycle is very important. Going on your training rides, listening to the safety speech, and abiding by the rules is really important. So the safety video is about 45 minutes. There's usually a line to get to it, and you just go in at the different times. Again, if you leave the video for any time, like you have to pee, you won't be able to come back in, and you will have to enter the line again to watch the video. Once the video is over, you'll be excused by section, and it might be kind of like, God, I've been sitting here a while, I really need to go, whatever. Just wait for your section to be called. There's a reason. There's people at the other side putting your wristband on. Your wristband has to stay on the entire time. If your wristband comes off at any point during the week, you'll go to participant support to get a new wristband, where they will promptly make you watch the safety video again to give you the wristband. So don't lose your wristband. Leave it on. It's super important. See? Look at those nice roadies putting on wristbands. So good of them. I love it. Check-in! See? Look, but it's a happy line, right? Look at Gordon. He just looks so happy in the picture. Check-in, it's where, if you're a cyclist, you're going to receive your check-in packet. It contains your bike frame number and your helmet number. Roadie check-in this year is going to be next to cyclist check-in. It has different information in it that roadies need. You will also receive your participant wristbands not by which area, but by which meal you are eating. That needs to be updated. So if you're a meat eater, you're getting one color. If you're a vegetarian, actually, if you're a meat eater, you don't get anything. If you're a vegetarian, you get a specific wristband for that. Incentive pickups. So that's the 5K jersey this year, raised $5,000, and you get that beautiful black and blue jersey. If you are a 10K fundraiser, you will be getting the jersey and shorts. First time ever that we've had shorts for anything, for any of our events. You'll be able to pick those up. If you are amongst the top 50 fundraisers, you will also pick up your top 50 special jersey there as well. Tent assignment. You're gonna receive the detailed information for tent assignment in April in an email, and it'll be in your participant center. It'll also, I don't think it is in the travel planner actually. Online tenting, it will be available again this year, and you will be able to do the areas as well. The tent by section. If you're available to take advantage of it online, like if you're above the 2,000, like if it's April 12th or April 15th or something, and if you're at 2,000, do it. It's a lot less of a hassle. And then you're gonna get a tent chip. So if you, see, isn't that exciting?
Oh, I have
So
that,
if you do it online, your tent chip is gonna be in your packet at check-in. If you do it in line in person, you'll get your tent chip off the board. Tent chips. Okay, Timley's getting tent chips because he has it. So you have you'll notice there's a little orange one and blue. There are actually a cup there. There's a few of them that you get. And what it is that it has a little number and a letter. Actually, it has a letter and then a number. The letter is what gear truck you're assigned to. So A, B, C, however many gear trucks we have, K, whatever. And then your number is what tent space you are in. So when you get to camp, It gives you, you're going to put one of the tent chips on your tent bag. Like, we will give you it on the evening of night one when you get to camp and you get to your truck. That's when you're going to get your tent. It's on the truck. You don't have to deal with it all day. Night one, you get to Santa Cruz, you get to camp, you get your luggage from gear truck C. Pick up your little bag and everything, a big bag actually. And then you grab one of the tents. You take that extra tent chip and you attach it to your bag. You use the same tent all week long. Now don't do what I did. I had my little tent chips in my little packet, and I only had 2, and I was really jealous because my tent mate had 3. The third one is for the tent. You guys get 1 tent between 2 of you. There's really only 1, but I was like, well, no, how come she not? Don't do that. Don't worry. There's one for that, one for the other. And there's one for your luggage and one for your body. So you can wear it on your neck so you remember at the end of the day where the hell you are.
That small one that I had with the goes around your neck, and there's
Or
a
you
bigger
can
one
put
that
it
goes in your
anywhere.
luggage.
You can put it anywhere.
Either way.
People put them anywhere, but carry it on you because by the end of the day, especially by the end of day 1, you'll have no clue what truck you were supposed to. Like, it's like that 4 a.m. thing after 80-something miles was a really long time away. So it's like, which truck was I? That's what the tent chip is for. See, look, I put May 15th because that's my guess all date. I don't know that that's the official date. That'll probably update to whatever date it is. However, there will be a deadline for when the last day is to send your checks in to the office for it to actually count. We will guarantee all online donations through Friday, which actually I think it does go through Saturday. If you get a donation at the last minute, technology allows as such that we can see it because you can show it to us on your phone at this point. So if you receive checks after the deadline date, don't mail them if you need it to count towards your minimum or your incentive. Bring them with you to donor services on orientation day. And then if you're like freaking out and you're not about to reach your minimum, even at orientation day, just see me after the workshop and we'll talk about that. And if you're online and you have questions about that, we can talk about that at the end, because that's a different topic. Donor services, long line, but it's fun. People have lots of donations to turn in, it's a good thing. Lots of money happening. People calculating. Medical, medications that need refrigerating, things to keep cool. Just visit the medical team, they're going to help you out. If you have questions about, like if you have medications that you need to take during the route, you're going to arrange for them and they're going to arrange with their medical transport team at the lunch stop and rest stops to have it there for you. So there's a lot of people who are on different HIV meds that are very time sensitive, things like that. And they can't take them with them because they have to be refrigerated. So if anything like that is going on, if you have any questions about medical and something you might need, please contact your cycle rep. Don't hesitate to ask. If we don't know the answer right away, we will get back to you and we'll figure it out and get back to you on it. There is a process for almost everything on the ride. So no matter what it is, like if you have food allergies and stuff, like any of that stuff, just let us know. If you have asthma, whatever it is that you're kind of worried about, we'll take care of you. So March 18th, Monday, you'll be able to fill this out, your medical waiver. Make sure that you have all of your information in front of you when you're doing it. So when you go to your participant center and you're like, oh yeah, Marnie said that it's Monday, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna fill it out, have everything there, because if you log out, it doesn't save anything. You have to do it in one shot. And it's okay, you can come back to it, but it's kind of annoying if you've like filled most of it out and you forgot your driver's license number or whatever, or your Like if you have insurance and your insurance card number, it's like, oh shoot, I forgot that card. And then you like go back and you're like, oh, I can't finish it tonight. I'll do it later. All that stuff you filled in before, it's not there. So you have to refill it out. So just save yourself the headache and be prepared to sit down and do the whole thing. Yeah, if you make a mistake, you're gonna have to redo the whole thing. It can't be edited once it's submitted. So let us know, and we'll talk to your cycle rep. You might just have to go in line and do it then, because it won't let you, once you've completed it, it won't let you do a different one. It's gone. Like it says that you completed it in your participant center. Yeah, in your participant center where there was a link. Do your medical form. Once you've done it, it's done. Yeah, so you'd have to contact us or you'd have to go online. So just make sure you get it all right. I would like to say this about the medical form because it's a common question. You don't have to have a primary care doctor and you don't have to have insurance. It's not a requirement to be on the ride. So if you don't have that information and it's truthful to what what your medical information is, that's fine. It's just information in case something happens so that we have it and we have it on hand. So, see, the deadline is May 17th. There we go. That's the new deadline. $50 says the deadline for donations being mailed in is May 17th. Because last year was all the same date.
That's where I'll find it.
So this is a snapshot of your participant center. Latest news for participants. There's all sorts of stuff, important links. That is where your medical form is going to show up. That's the link you click, and then it'll say you're done with it. Sidebar, no, go back. Sidebar, forms, just to plug fundraising while I can. Your downloadable personalized donation form as a PDF is at the bottom in that section called forms. So if you need to print out donation forms to give to people who want to give you a check or cash, or they just want to fill out their credit card info, that's where you go. Click on that. The donation form comes up. It's pre-plugged with your name and your participant number, like all in there. Print out a lot of those. Keep them with you in the car. Keep them with you at your desk at work, whatever. Keep them with you. You never know when you're going to get a donation. You can also use your phone, but that's actually where you find that. Okay, continue. I like fundraising. Camp store. Yay! You want to grab that jersey?
Which?
On Carrie's chair.
Yes.
So, like I said, the only time you can buy AIDS Lifecycle stuff is on the ride. This is last year's. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that from there. Yeah, this is last year's souvenir jersey for AIDS Lifecycle. So there's always a souvenir jersey. One with sleeves, one without sleeves. I don't know what that was, but oh well. One with sleeves, one without sleeves. Jersey, I think the one with sleeves is usually around $65. There's usually a hoodie, like a sweatshirt, hats, bottles, all sorts of fun stuff. And everybody likes it. So it's like, oh my god, I gotta get lots of stuff. So make sure you pick it up. So that's bike parking kind of empty.
It's kind of hard to.
You should turn the lights off.
There are bikes actually there. It's just hard to see it.
Turn the lights off. Maybe you'll be able to see the image better. People online can see this, but in here it's a little bit odd. So maybe kicking the light down will help that a little. Yeah, a little bit better. So that's actually relatively empty, but that's a really big hall. That's awesome, actually. That's what the bike parking looks like. You're going to be using that all week long. Oh, okay, all right. He's going to put it back on, but you can tell it's a really, whoa, oh wow, I went the wrong way. Sorry, people online, I'm having a little bit of a freak out here. So yeah, so bike parking, there's this huge hall, there's just bikes and bikes and bikes and bikes and bikes, like they just go on forever. the eye can see. If you are a roadie meeting, everything roadie starts at 12 o'clock in the roadie area. Roadies are really fantastic. If you're a rider, you're going to love your roadies. Roadies are amazing. They're sweet. They're on the road. They're there to help you if you have issues. They're sports med and medical and massage. They're all there in camp, and then the sports med team is also on the route at lunch. Moto safety are really great. They're in like these bright colored shirts, and they've got the flags, and if there's any turns on the route,
Which
there are a lot of turns.
Yeah.
But if you have to turn, there is always moto safety to tell you where to turn. You get a route slip, you'll get a route slip that morning. But there's also a roadie there to go like this so that you turn in the right direction, or to mark it. Because as the days go on, you kind of get tired. Your roadies all have different colored shirts. Medical team is red. So sports med and massage are a different color, but they're not red, but they are all together in the same area. The route jobs, like sweep vehicles and moto safety, are bright colors. Rest stops are usually in costumes. So sometimes they wear roadie shirts, but a lot of times they're in costumes. Traffic is also bright colored shirts. And then there's just regular roadie shirt that is either a sand or a green. It depends on what color they pick that year. And then the captains are usually purple, and the deputies are a different color, and staff is in blue. We have blue shirts that we wear. Here's your answer to your questions. Cyclists should plan to arrive orientation no later than 2 p.m. Allow 3-hour minimum to complete. So actually that should be 1 p.m. because orientation day now closes at 4. If you're a roadie, you need to be there by 11 a.m. And then roadies have to attend the mandatory meeting from 12 to 2 p.m. If you're a cyclist, the last thing that you're going to do before you leave is go back to bike parking, affix anything to your bike that you want to affix to it, and put your frame tag on it for the night. And then you get to go home, and you're not going to sleep.
You'll sleep a little bit.
You'll sleep a little bit, but you'll toss and turn and be like, oh my god. Day 1, you need to be there at 5 a.m. Shuttle leaves at 4 a.m., so if you're doing the shuttle, you need to be there at the shuttle at 4 with your luggage. Oh, that's a big thing. Your luggage does not come with you on orientation day. If you fly in that day, or for some reason you have your luggage with you that day, we have a staging area in bike parking where you can leave your luggage for the day, but don't bring it with you. You don't need it on orientation day. You're not leaving it there. You are going to bring your luggage with you on day 1. So you have to be at the Cow Palace at 5 a.m. Your friends and family need to arrive at like 5:30 so that they can get into the opening ceremonies area and watch Ride Out. Again, Cow Palace parking lots are available only until 6 a.m. Once 6 a.m. happens, people cannot drive on the road to get into the parking area. And again, the fee is $8, cash only. So if you have friends or people up north that are coming to opening, that's the thing there. We provide a continental breakfast that morning. It's basic. It is the least glamorous meal on the ride. Bagel, banana, that's pretty much it. So if you, there's a long time in between 5 a.m. Ride Out and Rest Stop 1. Rest Stop 1 is where you're going to get a lot of food, and you're going to be able to, go to the bathroom, whatnot, all that stuff. Like, I mean, you go to the bathroom in the Cow Palace before you leave, but there's just a lot of time between the time that you're awake the time that you ride and the time that you're going to hit your first rest stop. If you need to bring something with you, do that. Have it in your back pocket. If you want to make a sandwich or have an extra protein, you just can't guarantee that by the time you leave, like if you eat at 5:30 a.m. and you get to rest stop 1 at 8:30, probably going to be pretty hungry. So make sure that first morning you definitely have something with you, especially if you're an eater in the morning. Make sure that you bring full bottles of water, one with electrolyte, with you to that morning to day 1. There won't be any water or anything until rest stop 1. The shuttle bus, again, yeah, I would say, yeah, well, it was $8. No, $7. It was $8 last year. Whatever. They'll give us a good price. Yeah, the shuttle bus starts at 4:30 a.m., but you have to be there at 4. Like you'll get instructions on the shuttle bus because it actually leaves the hotel at 4:30 a.m. and there's a line to get on it, and you gotta get your luggage on there, and it all takes a process. The tickets will be available online only. You won't be able to buy them at the hotel. You won't be able to buy them through us. You will get an email. It'll have instructions. We can go over the instructions with you, but it's an online process only. You will get a little receipt that you want to print out and keep that. And there will be no tickets sold at orientation day. There is a cutoff day, so the day that they go on sale, there's also a cutoff day a couple weeks before the ride on when you can buy them. So, next. If you're riding by taxi, make sure that you reserve it the night before. Taxi companies are actually in your travel planner under transportation. In logistics, travel planner and logistics, there's a transportation tab. There's a resources, transportation resources tab actually is where the transportation is. So taxis, they'll come in and they'll drop you right off near where the gear trucks are. And then they don't have to pay for parking, they'll scoot out. So you can do that too. You are going to arrive, you're going to get out of your vehicle, whether it's the taxi or the shuttle bus, or your friend's car who drops you off, and you are going to go over to your assigned gear truck with your tent chip and your luggage. You're going to take your luggage, you're going to put it on the gear truck and say bye. So at that point, make sure you have everything you need for the day. Don't forget your water bottles that are full. Remember your helmet, arm warmers, leg warmers. Be prepared to ride for the day. Everything else goes on the truck, and you'll get it in Santa Cruz. So yeah, you go to your assigned gear truck, you meet your roadies that take care of you for the week. They're fantastic. You'll love them. I already love them. So if you have a bike box, oh yeah, if you have to retrieve your bike box from the temporary storage area, you're going to take it to the gear and tent roadie, and they'll give you further instructions on which truck you're going to drop it off at that goes down to Southern California. So if you do have a bike box, there's a little bit of a process. Again, if you have a bike box, you're not going to be able to get in it. So make sure you grab everything. After you've done gear, you're going to walk in, and there's breakfast and then opening ceremonies. Opening ceremonies is amazing. It's really exciting. There's a lot of energy. There's a stretching section to get you all pumped up, so you'll get all worked out together and warmed up and ready to go. And it's loud and there's a lot of music. And then everybody goes to that bike parking You have to remember where your bike was the night before. You find your bike, and then you do that. And that's ride out. The first 8 miles of the ride, we do have a police escort. It's the only time on the ride where you're able to ride across the road. The rest of the ride is single file, unless you are passing. So this is the only time that it's like that. And you'll actually know who has done training rides and who has not done training rides, because they can either ride like that or they cannot.
Yeah.
Very true. So life on the route itself looks like that. The route opens each day at 6:30 a.m. Except on day 7, it opens at 6 a.m. It opens a little earlier on day 7 because we want to get you in. And it closes at 7 p.m. So if you're a slow rider, get to bike parking early and leave at 6:30 a.m. You have from 6:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. to do the entire day's ride. If you are fast and you know you're going to be fast, you don't have to leave at 6:30 a.m. Like you just don't. You can if you want to. I'll give you good reasons why you don't have to. So the earlier you leave, the more time you actually have throughout the day. All of your rest stops are, your roadies put a lot of time and energy into them. They come up with themes, they decorate them, they're a lot of fun. You want to go to each rest stop possible, not just to get hydrated and because you have to pee, because if you're not doing that at each rest stop, you're not drinking enough. You also need to eat, but they're fun, and they're photo ops, and the ride is about the fun part of it, not just whizzing through and missing everything. Some people do it that way, but I don't recommend it. The later you leave, you have a longer line to deal with everywhere you go. The more you're going to feel kind of stressed out by the end of the day, because if it's a longer line and you're at the rest stop longer, all of a sudden you're getting out back on the road a little longer. It just, everything gets a little pushed back. And rest stops close. They're not open all day long. They're approximately 15 to 20 miles apart from each other. If you leave early, the potty lines are shorter, so you save time. Again, remember to drink. This is huge, and it might stay in your head and it might not. The roadies at rest stops and at dinner will hand you fresh fruit, bagels, and food. You will not grab it. If you do, they will smack your hand. Like if you try to grab something that's an open piece of food, they will, for sanitary reasons. And people get their hands smacked all the time. It's not a big deal. With love. But we all don't need colds. Or my year that I rode, there was a big flu bug. So stomachy thing. So it really is not a joke.
And you have to take your gloves off too.
Yes, big deal. When you go to the bathroom and you're wearing cycling gloves, you're riding your bike, you're wearing your cycling gloves, get to the rest stop, take your helmet off, take your gloves off, put them in your helmet, and walk away. Waste hand sanitizer and little wipes, clean off your hands, go to the bathroom. Do not wear your gloves into the porta potty, and then go over to the food line and have a roadie put.
They won't put food in your hand if you have gloves either.
No, they will.
Last year they wouldn't.
No, they will.
Okay.
They will.
I had them drop it in my hand.
Depends the roadies. They will do stuff like that and look at you like you're disgusting, because where your hands been all day, it's kind of gross. All the road grime, and then you go into the bathroom with your gloves on, and it's a porta potty. I mean, come on. They're clean porta potties.
Very clean.
Take your. So yeah, so just take your gloves off. That's gross. That's disgusting. Put the lid down in the toilet too. And let the roadies hand you the open food. If it's packaged food, go at it. Like, your Pop-Tarts and your trail mix and your Chex Mix and your whatevers, have at it. there's a lot of food at the rest stops. There's a lot of food at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you can eat all of it. This is a smorgasbord of food, and when you want to stop at Coffee Bean on the route, feel free to, and then when you see the caboose, we'll push you out. So when you get to the rest stop, make sure that you're stretching. Make sure that you get food and you get drink. I sometimes would go through the rest stop, grab my water bottles. I'd almost be done with the electrolyte and water by the time I got to the rest stop. Fill them up, go do stuff at the rest stop, like go to the bathroom and stuff and have drinks, and then I top off the bottles before I actually took back off. Grab extra snacks in case you need it on the route. It's not just have it in your pocket. It's not a big deal. So if you get there and you see long lines, like the potty line is long, they grab snacks, get water, stretch, wait. If another line is long, go somewhere else, do something else. You know, use your best judgment. Again, take off your riding gloves. It's gross. And then after you go to the bathroom, it's a two-step hand sanitizer process. You have the little, right? Sound effective? Yeah. And then you have a wet nap. Do both. It's in all camps, and it's at the end of the dinner tables. It's outside of all the bathrooms. It's by all the food stations. Make sure that you wash your hands. Don't want to get sick on the ride. It's not fun. So, see, look at that. Rest stop 4. Hey. Looks like Stepford Wives or something like that.
That was Greg.
There are also unofficial rest stops.
That was Greg?
Yeah.
Where?
That's not Greg. That's Matt Bazaar.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, that's not Greg.
That's Matt Bazaar. Greg is like,
yeah.
No, that's Matt Bazaar. The booty on that boy, that was Matt. Just saying. So this is one of the unofficial rest stops. There's lots of them. Day 2 in particular. Day 2 is the longest day on the route. It is from Santa Cruz to King City. It's 107, 108 miles. It is really long. It also has the most random rest stops. The Ugly Mug Coffee House is in Santa Cruz. There's artichokes. There's an artichoke stop. People are eating artichokes. They love their artichokes. There's Cookie Lady. There's Bears. There's a skinny hole, like a skinny dipping hole. Like, it is a long day. And then there's all the rest stops.
Otter Pop stop.
I said that.
You said bear.
Yeah, they are bears.
I know.
It doesn't matter. It's not a, well, it is. It's so, anyway, there's lots of stops on day 2. Day 2 is, since it is the longest and there are a lot of stops, leave as early as you can. You need as much time as possible to do it. You want to be able to enjoy everything.
Is there a reason day 2 is so much longer than the other day?
Because getting to Santa Cruz to King City is long. Cheap mileage, just 107 miles. Like,
Yeah.
it's not.
But like terrain wise,
How they mapped it out.
It's the
It goes
flattest
from
day.
that city to that
It's
city.
the flattest day, but it's not flat. I just want everyone to know that it is not flat. It is mostly flat.
Flatter than other days. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like
it's mostly flat, and if you are not a hill climber, it is not a flat day. Leaving Santa Cruz is not flat. I don't care what anybody says.
You'll be fine.
It's
But it's not flat. You'll be fine.
it's not flat.
Wait, you missed
Day
it.
3.
Yeah, you missed that.
Day 3 is
Speaking of not
Quadbuster.
flat.
Quadbuster, huh? Totally flat. It's not that bad. Most people have a hard time with it because you can't see the top. It's this slow curve that goes up, so it's like it's like, oh, it's right, and it's not. Just no. It's really not as hard as it seems at all. The hill on day 1 is harder than Quadbuster, in my opinion. It's like Switchbacky and Skyline. The first hill out of San Francisco is harder than this, but no one remembers that because they're so exhausted and they're glad day 1 is over. And then they kind of realize day 3 has happened, and it's like, oh, there's this hill. It's not hard. Day 3 is also lunch at Bradley. Bradley is a small town. in the middle of nowhere. And the school and all the kids, they provide lunch. So we have lunch there. The ride provides lunch on day 3. If you do not want to eat or support or spend money, you do not have to. You can go have your whatever lunch is that day. We have a tent with lunch. Most people eat it broadly, but you don't have to. But they have hamburgers and veggie burgers, and they're and pins. So like the kids, they make these like cool buttons, and you can buy buttons. All of the funding that like everything that they get from their sales that day goes into their extracurricular activities for the kids. So their science department at their school, their athletic department at the school, the computer lab, being able to travel and go to different areas for cultural experiences. It's amazing. And it's an amazing relationship that has developed. One of the magical parts about the ride is that 1994 in California was a lot different of a temperature for 500 riders to ride down the coast and get vegetables thrown at them and cans thrown at them and people doing and saying nasty things to them because of why they were riding, because of HIV and stigma. This is what it's about. Like, this is amazing. This is a small town. These kids are out there with like stuff feeding you. They're, you know, serving and having fun and taking pictures. They get all excited when everybody comes in. It's a huge deal. And we have changed that culture down the coast by doing this. Our visibility and us being there. And you'll hear stories like this all the time. And Bradley is a perfect example of it. And it's amazing. And they have the kids have a much different view of what HIV is and what LGBT people are and all that. So that's day 3. Day 4 is halfway to LA. It's a really beautiful view. You're at the top of the Evil Twins, which again are not nearly as hard as the hill on day 1. It's just called the Evil Twins. I was actually disappointed, and I'm not a hill climber, but I was disappointed. I was like, really? That was it? But when you get to the top and you get up there, the view is amazing, and that's all ocean. And so you're going from inland to the crest, and then it's like this beautiful ocean view on a clear day. Just get your picture. Lots of teams taking pictures. Wear whatever jersey. Plan day 4's jersey.
That's part of the video.
There you go. That's day 4. It's the halfway point. There's less lines now, actually. We have signs that say halfway to LA. People line up to be behind the sign. Last year, for the first time, we made a couple of portable signs, so you didn't have to actually stand, like that's one of the portable signs. You could take it and walk over to a different area without a line. So you don't necessarily have to be in front of a sign to get the halfway picture. This is an unofficial rest stop. It is not an official stop, so there's nothing there for you. Just saying.
Food-wise or anything.
Drinks, yeah. Day 5 is Red Dress Day, or as it was called, Dress Red Day, but then a bunch of gays got a hold of it and turned it into Red Dress Day. The idea of it is that we are riding down the coast of California, and it looks like a long red ribbon from an aerial view, so it's really kind of amazing. People have fun with it. It's amazing. There's all sorts of different costumes that you can do. You want to make sure that your outfit is bikeable. So if you do not wear red, even if you just wear a red jersey, wear something red, because you do not want to be that person that is not in red. Trust me, you stand out. Hi, second guy in that picture right there. Hello. See the guy back, like the little row picture, the guy in the front? The guy behind him is not in red.
Kind of what the ribbon looks like.
Yeah, it's kind of what the ribbon looks like. So there's different costuming things that you can do and things that can actually be really helpful. If you really want to wear fishnets, put your socks on first then put your fishnets on, and your feet won't actually go through the little fishnet holes.
How long a day might it?
45,
Yeah, it's the shortest day.
but it's hilly.
Oh.
It's not flat at all. There's a couple of
Better or worse than the first hill?
In the first hill, the first day.
The dreaded first day hill.
Each day is different. I mean,
It's hilly. There's a couple. It's hilly, and then there's one hill that's actually like, you're kidding me. It's also hot usually on that day, or can be. And you're also in a really funny outfit, but it's so much fun.
It's fun.
It's
a fun
fun.
day.
It's a really great day. When you do your costume, if you have questions about, like, if you're just wearing a red dress, just make sure that you, like, it's not going to go into your cogs or your wheels or anything like that. If you're doing something flowy, kind of make sure that you're careful. You don't want anything to get caught. Or sequins, not under your arms or in between your legs. So if you're making something, make sure that it's shit, you know. Also, your red dress outfit has the tendency to not be like your cycling jerseys. Sunscreen. You will see some interesting tan lines on day 6 from people who did not have sunscreen in the appropriate places from where their dresses were, or lack thereof. Day 6 is a lot of fun, and there's a lovely stop in Santa Barbara that the town of Santa Barbara puts on. It's not an official rest stop, called Paradise Pit, and that is it. There's ice cream. You don't even know how much ice cream is at that stop. It's ridiculous. I mean, you're like number whatever rider coming in, and there's still ice cream there, and they have a ton of it.
it's amazing.
There are baked goods, like everybody who volunteers to be on Paradise Pit in the city of Santa Barbara, like, bake stuff, and they're like brownies and cookies, and I mean, like,
It's a good rest stop.
It is the best.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
So make sure you go there. So yeah, there's moto safety. On the route, you have all sorts of different support. That's kind of what moto safety looks like. The only thing you're not seeing is the motorcycle next to the person. And typically there's a flag. On the route, safety is really important. And one of the ways to signal for help or let other riders and sweep vehicles know what's going on, thumbs up if everything's okay. We don't allow earbuds, music, or other things on your bike to distract you or other riders. Likewise, if you're going to take a picture or you're going to be on the phone, pull off the side of the road, get off your bike to do the picture and the phone thing. You're going to be doing this a lot when you're doing that, because every rider that passes you is going to be like, you okay? So just stick your thumb out, take the picture. Like,
There's no earbuds allowed.
Nope.
No.
California state law allows for one earbud. Bicycles are subject to California state law as cars, as vehicles. We are vehicles on the road, therefore we have to abide by all safety rules and rules of the road. We stop at all stop signs, we stop at all stoplights, we put our foot down, we do not track stand. Can cause an accident because other riders are less experienced. We can also get our permits taken away from us. And if we have to reroute the route, that's really hard to do. So one rider can actually affect the entire ride. No earbuds, no music coming out from your bike because it can be distracting. So that's our rule. So we take it a step further. But we also have a lot of people to take care of and a lot of different experience levels. Some are like fast cyclists that are using ACE Lifecycle as a training for another event. Some people are lollygagging and having a great time and whatever. Some are struggling, and this is the most amazing, incredible, extremely difficult thing that they've ever done. And if you're really new and really inexperienced, somebody passing you and saying on your left can actually make you move. So like that can be tricky. You have to just take into account there's all different ride levels around you. So we make it as safe as possible for everybody. So signaling for help is thumbs up. If you're all good, just standing on the side of the road, say you have a flat but you know how to change it, and somebody's standing there. If somebody is with you, have them stand there and do this. Literally, a lot of people will pass you, and they're all going to ask you if you're okay.
Yeah.
Thumbs down if you do need help. You will either get help from another rider, or if you see a car come by with a placard, thumbs down. Only certain placards will stop for you. If it's a white placard, they're not going to stop. So don't take it personally. They're just not route vehicles. They're not equipped to help you. They have no clue what they're doing. They wouldn't know what a tire tube looks like if you asked them. But the sweet vehicles, which are usually decorated and fun, they can stop for you and help you and pick you up. So just thumbs down. If there's an emergency, hands over your head, cross them. If you are with the person that's happened to, call 911 first. Then you're going to call the phone number on your wristband. And then you're going to wait with the person. And you're just going to stand there like this. Sweep will come. Everything will get dealt with. It's fine. Call 911 first, then your wristband number. See, those are the ones that'll stop for you. How can you miss that, right? So the other ones that just have white placards, you'll see the placard, the little MV, there's that little thing in the window, but they're not, they don't have anything. But these guys have everything and more. However, they are not a taxi. So if you're on the side of the road and you're really done, but you just need like a 10-mile break and it's like, oh, the rest stop is right there, I'm done. You are not allowed to get onto a sweep vehicle, go to the next rest stop, and then get back on your bike and continue. That is not what the sweep vehicles are meant for. Sweep vehicles are meant for technical difficulties, or you're injured, or you're done for the day, and you just need to get to the rest stop. At the rest stop, if like somebody assesses you and allows you to move forward, they will, but otherwise, at that point, you need to get on the bus and go back to camp. So please don't use the sweep vehicles as a taxi. It's not cool. Caboose! You can't see me, but I'm in there. I'm in the passenger side. We are the last car on the vehicle, and follow the last rider at 5 miles or less from San Francisco to LA. Last year, we idled for 6 miles and had to brake. We go slow. But no one is left behind. No one is left behind. You will be at a rest stop and you are going to be lollygagging and taking your time, and all of a sudden you're going to hear a rest stop closure come in and say, the caboose is on its way, and everybody will leave. No one ever sees me on the ride. It's depressing. There's also medical support. But if you're in the back, the good thing is if you're in the back, you're not alone. So that's kind of good. Medical transport, medical support. We do have medical teams on the route that will take you to nearby hospitals if need be. We also have medical at every rest stop and lunch and in camp. So that's really important. Other facts, what if family members want to follow me on the route? Okay, no, that's not going to happen. The route is not available for anybody until the day of the route. So you won't have route maps until that morning because something can change. Please don't let your family members and friends follow you on the route. We have picked specific roads and we try to limit the amount, like all the vehicles and gear trucks that come from camp and go to the next camp, they don't go on the route. There are roadies that don't see the same thing that the cyclists see at all. They have different ways of going. Rest stops that have to jump ahead of you to set up their rest stop, they don't go on the same route. You're not going to see them pass you. So having extra vehicles like your friends and families and stuff like it's a lot. It's 2,500 cyclists. Please don't have them meet you. They can meet you at like lunch. They're not allowed to come in and park in the park where we are. They'll have to park somewhere else and walk. And they're not allowed to eat the food because they won't have a wristband. So it's just like you can have people meet you at camp and you can have people meet you at certain spots, but don't have them driving the route. It's not safe for anybody. It just adds more stress. Most of those people don't know how to drive safely around cyclists to begin with. And on small rural roads, you really kind of want it to be as safe as possible. So what happens if it rains? We have contingency plans. They work. We had rain on day 2 last year. That sucked. We got everybody in. It was fine. We got all the bikes taken care of. We'll take care of you. We've had rain before that even, and there was an accident on the freeway that kept the route from continuing, and we had to take everybody on buses to the next camp and ship all the bikes, and we take care of it. You're fine. If it rains and it gets to a point of danger, we will call the ride, and we will get you from where you are back to camp safely, wherever that's going to be. So you don't have to worry. We're good at it. You can ask veterans about last year, day 2. They'll tell you all about it.
They called the route last
We
last
called
year.
the route.
Yes.
We called the route at
Lunch.
we called the route at a certain time because of the rain, and it was day 2. It was cold. People on day 2, the morning is really cold, and then you turn inland, and it's really freaking hot. So anybody who's done the ride before is kind of prepared for that. So no one was dressed properly. Everybody was dressed in like layers of like, oh yeah, it's foggy Santa Cruz, and it's cold and dewy in the morning. And then it started raining. And then it followed us. So at a certain point, we had to call the ride because the mud and hypothermia, it was so cold, and riders were like shaking, and if they stopped riding, it got worse. So if you were at lunch at a certain time, you stayed. If you were out there, you finished the route. We had 800 riders actually ride that route. We had a little over 2,200 riders last year, and only 800 people did day 2. So everybody else was either stopped at rest stop 2, which got moved inside to a church, a local church that opened up for us. And then if you were at lunch, you were inside. We were in a park there in the community college that's there, the cafeteria. The janitor opened it up for us. All of the bikes were transported to lunch. So you just got on a bus and got a ride. Your bike was left. And all of those bikes were in bike parking the next morning. There were lists that were stapled with where your bike, what your rider number was, and where your bike parking was, so that you could find it the next morning. It was amazing, just so you know. From all aspects of it, it was amazing. When is lunch? Well, when you get to it, it's lunch. But when you do get to lunch, there's 4 rest stops a day. Lunch is not a rest stop, it's its own stop. It's open from like 10:30 in the morning until 2 p.m. Like there's a certain amount of time that it's open. The rest stops overlap and close. On your route slip, it tells you when the rest stop closes. If you are not near the rest stop before it closes, the caboose will have you swept forward, and depending on your condition, we will determine whether you're finishing the day or whether you're getting on the bus. And that can happen at any point. And it's not that you're having you're not a bad rider, you're not a fast rider, you could have had flex. Something could be happening, whatever. You're gonna be behind all day long. And we just have to make that judgment because there are a lot of teams that have been awake very early in the morning that are also affected and the rest stop is having to stay open later than they normally would. So it's just a lot of people. It's a big process. You don't have to worry about any of it. Just pedal and eat and pee and drink and do it over again. Life in camp, that's the dining table. That's the dining hall. Tent full of people. Some orange hats, probably Timothy. If you are one of those fast riders, like I said earlier, and you just want to whiz through, if you get to camp before 1 p.m., nothing is going to be set up. Take your time, enjoy it. There's no rush. If you get to camp early, there's no food. There's nothing there for you. There's no showers. It's not ready yet. So take your time on the route. Enjoy yourself. Pace yourself. Things start opening up around 1 p.m. If you are an early arriver, info services will have extra lunches. After lunch is closed, they get sent to info services, so you can pick up lunch there. Remember where you park your bike. In bike parking, there's letters. It's like, H for Hawaii, or like they have themes and it's fun, so it's kind of easy to remember which alphabet letter your bike is. If you don't remember it, they scan your bike in. You can go to the bike parking tent and they'll be able to tell you where you parked it if you forget. If your bike needs mechanical attention, don't take it to bike parking immediately. Go to the bike tech area first. Don't wait until the morning, because everybody is over there trying to get fixed in the morning. If you get into camp and your bike is having some sort of weird issue, or Lukenspurken came loose or something, go see them first, have them fix it, then take it to bike parking. Carry a small mesh bag with you, like in your saddle bag, one of those Chico bags or something that folds up real small, because then when you get to camp, you can actually put your water bottles, your helmet, like all that stuff. What's this on the next one? The other thing that you want to have in your saddle bag, it's not on here, is a, oops, technical error. The other thing that's on your saddle bag that you're going to want is a shower hat cover that you get at a hotel for your saddle, because it's dewy in the morning. So you cover your saddle, and then your saddle's not all soggy at 5 a.m., 6:30 a.m. Just saying. So when you get to camp, depending on when you get there, what you want to do, it all depends on who you are. You have options. There's all sorts of signage. It'll point you in the right direction. You can go to the dining hall and eat, and then you can go to your gear truck and get your tent and set it up, and then go take a shower. Or you could set your tent up first, eat, and then shower. Or you could set your tent up, shower, then eat. Or you could eat, set up your tent, go to bed, and just smell. Right? Okay. So basically, do whatever you want. If you need to go to sports med, you're gonna go to sports med. The showers are amazing. They're hot and they're wonderful. Yeah, they rock. That might not look like a whole lot of rockage, but it rocks.
They're amazing.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
It is hot. There are private stalls. There are men's showers. There are women's showers, and then there are gender neutral showers. All of the showers, the men's and women's showers, are like a bench with hooks, kind of common area, and then a curtain and for your shower. And then the last stall in is actually a private dressing room and a shower. So if you are uncomfortable showering somewhere, there's privacy. Or you can use the gender neutral shower, which is a privacy area, and then the shower right behind it. So the whole thing is screened off. It's just a preference. There are many of them. So peek in and see if there's a line in one. Make sure you're going to the men or the women. There's stories of men actually hiding in shower stalls because they just went into a shower stall, started showering, and all of a sudden started hearing women's voices and felt incredibly awkward until it was kind of empty. And then they were like, ooh, they got dressed and they ran out. Like, it's not bad. There's a curtain there, but like everybody's tired. Sometimes you miss the word, like men or women. So just kind of, make sure you're respectful. Gear trucks. When you get to camp, you're going to find that gear truck with the letter. Your roadies actually put your bag on and take your bag off. You get a 75-pound bag. Your roadies will love you if you can make your bag lighter than that. So that's the maximum limit. When you're flying, most places have like a 55-pound bag limit. So then you're going to pay if it's over. There's a whole packing clinic that we do on how to pack and what to pack. So stay tuned for that. That's what the tent city looks like. Your gear truck might not be near your rows, but there are signs of which row is which, right? That's dark, right? And all those tents look alike. Bring something identifiable for your tent so that it sticks out. So in the middle of the night, when you have to pee, because you're going to have to pee because you're drinking a lot of water, and if you don't have to pee in the middle of the night, you have issues. And if you're a boy, you can bring a clear water bottle, tape it, and pee and then empty it in the morning. Just saying. If I was a boy, I would want to do that too. It's a good pointer. Be quiet. Quiet time is at 9. Most everybody is out by then. Remember, yeah, so if you have to talk to your tent mate, whisper. It's a tent. They're all next to each other. It's really not a wall. So if you're talking like this, the person next to you is probably going to be pissed off. So is the person behind you and the person on the other side of you and the person in front of you, because that's what it looks like. There's a lot of tents. So yeah, do not pack tent stakes or hair dryers or things like that. Your tent is not, you don't have stakes. We provide the tent. You don't need tent stakes. Put your luggage in there. Your luggage will hold it down. Yeah, don't pack it. There's no electricity. Don't bring that. Cell phones. We don't have electricity, so you don't get to charge it on us. You can go back. But so just to talk about that for a minute, there are other ways to power your cell phones. My first bit of advice for this is put your phone on airplane mode during the day when you're riding your bike. The only thing that you're really going to be doing when you're riding your bike is taking pictures. Like, that's the only thing you really need your phone for. If there's something that happens and you need to call somebody, you can turn it back off airplane mode. But if it's on airplane mode, it's not constantly searching for a signal, so it doesn't drain your battery as quick, right? So you're preserving battery for that. So when you get to camp, you can post those pictures on Facebook or do something. You might be having such a fabulous time, you don't use your phone except for photos the entire week, which would be great. Cell phone, you can get extra batteries, right, for your phone, like the little instant charger things. Duracell and Energizer Bunny, thank you. They make little additional charger packs. You can also do solar. So look up Solio or go to REI and look at the little solar things. You can hook it onto your bike and do a solar charger. There are ways to power your phone, but you also want to learn how to conserve the battery and then use it for what you need it for and get power in that way. People have been doing it for years, so it's possible.
Or camping sometimes will it be like a town or something, or like where we want to go in the hot shop.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's certain days that have towns that are close by, and the route is, the cities are marked, like where the campground is, so you can actually look up the campground and Google that area and just kind of look around. Once you're at camp, it's your responsibility. So we have what's called princess touring, the princess plan. It's for people who want to stay in hotels. It's all on you. It's all your money. Your bike goes into bike parking and it stays in bike parking. You have to get your luggage from camp to your hotel and back. We won't do anything. Like, that's not part of our deal. So taxis will come pick people up and people go. They make their own arrangements. There's actually a website, princessplan.com. All the hotels in King City are sold out. So you know. So that's a popular hotel day. They're sold out. So I just found that out today. Signage, like I said, it's everywhere. It'll tell you where to go. If you can't find something, find somebody. If you see somebody in a blue shirt that says staff, usually they know where things are, or they will help you find it by walking around lost with you, because we don't know everything. Roadies will know stuff. Just ask different people. Most of the signs will point you in the right direction of where things are, which is pretty handy.
What the hell? I got it.
No, you're fine.
Somebody asked.
Hot breakfast. Hot breakfast each morning is served from 5 to 8 a.m. The route, okay, so like I said, the route opens at 6:30 a.m. If you're not out of camp by 8:30 a.m., you will get on a bus and go to the next camp. That's your window of time. 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. to get out of camp. So breakfast is 5 to 8. People are in line at 4 a.m. every morning. So you can do it differently. You can wake up, like I personally am one of those people, like I wake up, I put my cycling gear on, I pack my bag. My campmate actually took the tent down because I would set it up, just because she liked to sleep in a little later. And then I would take my stuff to the gear truck, and I was completely ready. I went and had my breakfast, read the little newspaper, went over to the stretching area, did my stretches, got my hydration all set up for the day, and then went and got on my bike and was ready at 6:30 every day. You can do it in any order that you want. People come in their pajamas, all cozy and warm, and they take their time. So it just depends on what you're up for. But there will be a line starting at 4. Like coffee is usually first. And then dinner is served from 4 to 9. And 9 p.m. is pretty much when everything kind of closes down. When you get to the line, they'll ask you to show your wristband. Every time you go through the line, you'll have to show your wristband. You can go through as many times as you want. So you can have 10 plates of dinner or breakfast. It's up to you. There's no limit. They will only give you a certain amount of food. Like, so if you sit there and try to get more, they're not going to give you more. Just take your food, go sit down, eat, come back, and get back in line. It minimizes the food cost if they do it that way because of the way that they sell it to us. So it's a per plate thing. There's enough food. Trust me. Like, you will not starve, you probably gain weight on the ride. It's not a diet. You know, it's not a good time to diet either because you're going to burn 3,500 calories per day. Breakfast. So an example of what it kind of is like: Southwestern frittata, grilled peppers and onion and tortilla, and then there's the smoked sausage, refried grains, flour tortillas, yogurt, granola, bananas, oatmeal. They're pretty much every single day is yogurt, granola, bananas, oatmeal, that kind of stuff. There's an express line at breakfast too. So if you want like breakfast, or if you don't care and you just want the express line, oatmeal and the really quick stuff, then you don't have to wait in the big line. Like, I'm not an egg eater, or like I don't need to go through that line, so I go through the other line. Dinner. So you've got your, chicken, steak, cranberry glaze, or your vegetarian only line with whatever it has, and then there's a bunch of sides. We will have a menu available, which is subject to change. If you are gluten-free, have allergies, vegan, anything that, don't do sugar, or flour, things like that, we can help you with how you can do your food. So talk to your cycle rep. We'll be able to share the menu with you. Menu is subject to change, especially for lunch too. Camp services, you have medical, sports med, massage, chiropractic, camp store, lost and found information. There are AA meetings, religious services, and participant support. If you have any issues on the ride, go to participant support. They're there for you for everything. Like I said earlier, if you're not getting along with your tent mate, go to participant support. If you really can't handle the food item, like you chose vegetarian, but you're like, you need protein and you're over it, go to participant support. They'll change your wristband. You're not stuck. You lost your helmet number, go to participant support. The rock falls from the sky and it disturbs your path, go to participant support.
What is that?
I don't know, but it's participant support. They will give you meatballs at participant support. There are no alcohol, drugs, or open flame in camp. There's also no alcohol or drugs on the route. So it is a dry event. It's part of not signing up on it. People go into town and they do what they want. But in camp and on the ride, when you're riding, Caboose has chased people out of vineyards. So you know. Usually you're swept and you get on the bus and you're done for the day. But that has, it's not, you don't need to be riding drunk. You're probably dehydrated anyway. so it's not gonna take much. Most people are actually too tired to go into town, so, but they do. Some people do on certain days. They go in, have a drink, whatever. We don't. We get tired. Participant support. Don't hesitate to visit them. I can't reiterate it enough. They are your best friend. One of your, so anything, replacements on your wristband, safety video, whatever, you'll have to watch it again, but they'll give you a new wristband. If you have an emergency and you need to leave early, go to them, they'll take care of it. If you have to arrive late because something happened, go to them, you can arrive late. So all of a sudden, if so-and-so is getting married and you have to be a day late for the ride, we have a plan for that. So it's not an excuse not to do the ride. Just saying. If you need to report anything inappropriate, bad, or suspicious behaviors, that's where you would go. If you really had a crappy day and you need someone to cry on, like their shoulder or whatever, just go to them. Or if you need to yell at somebody, they can handle it. If you've lost something valuable, like wallet, ID, camera, technology, that's where that is. Participant support is located in camp, in the command center. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna look for camp signage that says command center or participant support. If you find either one of those, or again, look for a shirt that is blue that says staff. And we all know where the command center and participant support is. Night 6 in camp is the candlelight vigil. It's on the beach. It's after dinner. It's really beautiful. It's quiet. Yeah, that's it. So that's one of our night 6 in Ventura on the beach. They're actually on the ocean, on the sand above the ocean. So day 7. The route opens early. It opens at 6 a.m. That means it closes at 8 a.m. instead of 8:30. So you gotta get out of camp before 8 a.m. It also closes at 3 p.m. So instead of having till 7 p.m. to do the entire ride, you have till 3 p.m. It's only 70-something miles. It's not a long day. It's not exactly hilly. There's a lot of traffic and a lot of car doors and surfers to watch out for because it's on PCH on the coast. So as soon as you hit Malibu, if you're a local rider, you actually become a little more important because a lot of other riders haven't ridden PCH and they don't know what to expect. But because being in LA and you're training here, you're actually set up to help people. We would sandwich people, like 2 LA riders would ride in front of and behind a group of 5 riders because they had no idea you're exhausted. Everybody's exhausted. Your legs are sore, like your body is falling apart. There's, you don't know what's going on. There's stuff happening on day 7 that you don't know about. And there's like a zone that cyclists get into. Like sometimes, like on day 6, 4, 5, and 6, roadies have reported like having to do this at the rest stop to get cyclists' attention because they're awake but they've fallen asleep almost on their bikes. Like it's just you're tired. So day 7 in that situation, there's a lot of doors. Being an LA rider, you have a really good opportunity to kind of wake up that day and be like, oh, I know this area, and help out other riders who are not used to that because it's stressful. As is, and training rides is stressful. So, when you arrive on day 7, when you actually get here to closing ceremonies, you're gonna park your bike. You'll be at the finish line. That's a big woohoo. Grab refreshments, grab snacks, claim your victory T-shirt, hang out, relax. There's photo ops. Cheer other riders in. If you're a roadie, there's a mandatory meeting at 3. The location will be disclosed to you, and then closing ceremonies is like the last hour. There is actually a stage presentation. So if you can get people hanging out and helping you, there's the little arch, victory arch that you get to ride through.
That's the finish line.
The finish line
VA
is
Center.
at the VA Center in Wilshire. That is the roadie entrance. So cyclists kind of line up on both sides and cheer the roadies in for the stage. It's a big deal. It's a tradition. They work their asses off all week long. They are amazing. You will love them. Please do not abuse them. Please be nice to the roadies that are in the food service line.
Oh yeah.
They're the ones who get the abuse the most because you are cranky and hungry, and they don't want to give you a butter packet. Or something. Just be nice to your roadie. Like, be nice to, especially your food service roadies. They kind of take the brunt of it. After the ceremony, you'll go to gear retrieval. You'll pick up your bag, and then if you have bike parking or bike shipping, you are going to the bike transportation tent area. They, if you're doing FedEx or any sort of shipping, they will take your bike with you. They'll pack it. The bike tech will pack it down, get it put in a box, and then they will ship it away to wherever your destination is. If you are doing ACE, there will be a location for you to drop your bike off for it to be transported back to San Francisco. If you live in LA, you get to take your bike home. Do not forget to have a friend pick you up from closing ceremonies with a bike rack, because you will have a bike rack and luggage. Make sure that the person who picks you up at closing ceremonies has that stuff. We've had riders forget that part a lot. And then if you are from out of town or going somewhere afterwards, like down to San Diego or something, wherever there's Roadrunner, they have transportation to the airport. And then if you're staying in a hotel in LA, the Custom Hotel is the hotel to stay at. And they have discounts, and that information is on the travel planner of the website. Something happening next.
Questions.
It's a lot. It's a new version of the slide, so I over talked, but whatever.
It's okay.
Any questions? Any questions online? Do you have the text box up?
The roadies, you can bring the roadies.